There was a Japanese McDonald's ad that went extremely viral over the weekend because it portrays a traditional nuclear family. They're anime characters, though. I think it's really cute. Yeah. But a lot of Westerners had a negative reaction to this because anything that seems to promote family these days or promote marriage in the media, Westerners just recoil. They have this extremely negative reaction to it. And I don't understand that. This makes me want to buy McDonald's. I see this ad and I'm like, I think I can buy McDonald's and I'll be happy.
You know
which is the goal.
The only thing that makes me want to buy McDonald's now is the hot
Brett, show them the video.
Who eats the 1 bite challenge of the Whopper. Here we go.
It's just the left.
It's cute.
I don't know if the music is...
Does McDonald's own it?
Probably.
It's like lo-fi beats to eat McDonald's to. The kid looks extremely happy. What's not to like? What's not to like about this?
The left hates families. Like, they want the government to take the place of the father.
Why would you do this? You could be in a throuple and eat McDonald's too.
So here are some of the reactions. One said, it's creepy how the mom has the exact same proportions as the child. Like literally down to the hands. So I guess they're infantilizing women now.
No, they're making a remark about they're trying to connect it to pedophilia.
Another one said, 70,000 white supremacists are going to make think pieces about this.
Lo-fi McMusic, somebody says. That made me laugh. It's ridiculous that people get so upset about something so innocuous, but I guess it's like it also feels very signal boosted in a way, like it somehow blew up out of nowhere.
Another one said, theory, McDonald's is now trying to appeal to pedophiles.
Because the mom has the same proportions as the daughter?
Or because there's a kid in the ad at all to begin with? I don't know.
It's because the mom and the child look similar.
Well, that's called being related.
Because the woman is smaller than the man and the child is small. So it's representative of reality generally. I mean, I'm not a big guy, but usually women are smaller than men and children are smaller than women. But that is a problem to people on the left.
Yes, because everyone has to be a genderless, amorphous blob, according to Western thought. And there's a reason that this is a Japanese ad, because they're not really bogged down by those same cultural confusions about like gender roles.
It's because they're not having a cultural revolution. They don't have people are trying to destroy it. There
is a huge problem in Japan of declining birth rates.
Yes.
And I actually looked into this a little bit. Their prime minister, Fumio Kishida, has said that they need to have more children or they risk dragging their country into the depths of dysfunction. He did a 45-minute speech to parliament talking about the number of births in Japan sinking below 800,000 in the last year. He said Japan is on the verge of whether we can continue to function as a society, and addressing the stubbornly low birth rate cannot wait and cannot be postponed. And I think McDonald's is teaming up with them to single-handedly fix their declining birth rates. That's what some people said. He's like,
families are
have
good.
sex, please.
Have sex.
Like, it's a real problem. And also, Jonathan Wong, who's the producer of the Lotus Eaters podcast, said the reason this ad blew up is because it's alien to us, for the West is no longer capable of producing basic messaging that speaks to the core of being human. Another one said, this ad from McDonald's Japan has been causing a huge reaction online because portraying a happy white family enjoying time together is now pretty much an act of hate speech to the West.
Yes.
How far we have fallen and how fast. It is interesting that they're white, though.
Ads was the first place where you started seeing all of this stuff. Before it made it to movies and television, I feel like you were seeing it in promotional ads for products on television when they started, when everything was mixed race families and they weren't doing like single race advertisements anymore. And I'm just starting to see people notice it now. But if you want to worry about like a difference in messaging between the West and Japan, remember this ad that I showed you guys yesterday, where this is an ad from McDonald's in 2020 that says black trans women have a very simple message: stop killing us.
So this is the advertisement we get from McDonald's. We get modern progressive burger company, Japan gets cute anime family with lo-fi beats to eat McDonald's too.
It's great.
It's not fair.
It's great too, because I see this ad and I just picture somebody saying, "Ma'am, this is a McDonald's drive-thru."
Please.
Like,
yeah.
Again, I don't know what this has to do with, and luckily this ad got ratioed.
We just don't care about things being beautiful in the West anymore.
It's disgusting.
And that's something that a lot of people really appreciate about Japan, is that they care about order, cleanliness, beauty, things being
Traditional
cute
beauty.
and nice and neat.
Objective
and like,
beauty.
They will literally like choke slam you if you litter in that country. Yeah. It's a big deal. They care about how things look, and despite the fact that they have their own societal problems, obvious from their declining birth rate, they're not plagued by some issues that we have.
They do have their own societal problems, but like I've been to Japan a bunch of times, and it is absolutely awesome. Okay,
have you ever had McDonald's in Japan?
Of course, yes.
Did the ice cream machine work?
I don't recall. But
I'm guessing it did.
It's clean for the most part. Like, people are very respectful. Like, you don't have the crime problems in Japan that you have here. Like, it is really, really, really nice to go to Japan. Everything, when you're working with people, because we're over there working. When you're working with people, they do their jobs as if they want to do their jobs. You don't feel like when we go to New York and we're dealing with the unions in New York, they act like they're miserable being there. If you try to do anything that's outside of what the union allows, they'll scream at you. They'll scream at the artists and stuff. There are certain people that can do one thing, certain people that can do another thing, and they won't help each other. It is just it's incredibly. It inhibits getting the job done. In Japan, if you everything is done to a schedule and in order, I would sit down on the stage. I would sit down a water and a Red Bull on the first day, and every day after that we played, the crew was traveling with us and they're Japanese. Every day after, there would be a water and a Red Bull on the stage in the same spot. Because they saw me put it there and left it there for the show. They're like, okay, he needs that. They pay attention to those kind of things. And this is the way they treat, all of the acts that go there. And that's the way that the Japanese just behave. There's not a phrase for close enough in Japan. It's either right or it's wrong. You either do things properly or you're not doing them properly. And that is something that America really, really, really could learn a lot from.
How do Japanese audiences
they're awesome.
Behave at concerts?
So when you're playing the song, they are behaving like any other audience. When you stop, it is quiet because they're trying to understand you. They're being respectful because I'm talking and they want to hear what I'm saying. English is not their first language, so they'll be trying to pay attention because they want to make sure that if I'm saying whatever I'm saying, if they speak some Japanese or English, they want to understand. And they're super responsive. So they're silent, and I'll be like, let's hear it. And it's almost as if it's like choreographed.
I was curious because a lot of people say that they have this code of conduct, like it's rude to make noise during concerts, but
I assume that there might be a certain amount of that, but the point is they want to hear what you're saying. I don't feel like it's a bad thing. Out of all the places that I've been in the world, the only place that I would consider living that's not in America is Japan.
Well, the houses there are super cheap.
Mary was basically turning into a Zillow hunter while we were prepping the show
they
today.
have a lot of the people there. They're really into living in the city, and there are tons of houses in the countryside that are dilapidated and need restoration, but they're for sale for sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. And some of them are not even that far from Tokyo. It's kind of crazy.
It's not easy to move to Japan, though, either.
I know that the same things have been said about pro wrestling in Japan, that the audiences are much the same way. Yeah.
They also don't have the obesity crisis.
Oh, God.
I'm sure they still enjoy McDonald's, but they're not fat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What's
America,
that about?
I just retweeted something just a minute ago that I have on my Twitter.
That graph of America you're holding, it looks like a pancake with butter on it.
It is literally, it's the amount of obesity in the U.S. And right now, 50% of America is obese. I think
Is West Virginia the fattest state? I think the last time
West
I checked,
Virginia,
it was.
Oklahoma, and Louisiana are the fattest states. Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
But-
so I pulled up this niche gamer article where they show some of the responses to the advertisement.
Let's see it.
So it says Japan. This is from somebody on Twitter. Says Japan is the only country in the first world that lacks any law which prohibits racial, ethnic, or religious discrimination. They also have no national human rights institutions. I love that a McDonald's ad is what sparked
Why
that.
are we getting political?
Yeah, you're actually being xenophobic and racist towards the Japanese here. It's called a commercial for Japan. They're trying to run a business, not political activism nonsense.
It's Japan, and they have the right to be like their culture can be Japanese if they want.
Yeah, but this is the best part. This is a person responding to that guy before that and says, not political activism nonsense, surface level thinking at its finest, or intentional hatred towards Japanese people in your tweet. And then the guy just says, I ain't reading all that.
Yeah, of course not.
70,000 white supremacists are going to make think prices out of this. I don't know what that means.
Pieces.
Think pieces.
Okay, but he said prices, but he's just didn't spell it right. I don't understand what's going on in this. And he says basically Japan is the holy grail for white supremacists because it's relatively racially homogenous. Hence, they say based.
Okay, if you're white and you're actually racist, you don't want to live in Japan.
Yeah. And family-oriented ads like these play into the trad wholesale community image many associate with Japan and find lacking in the West. Hence, they blame black people and
all of those people have never been to Japan. When you go to Japan and spend some time in Japan, you cannot help but love it because it is awesome. It is clean, like it's not super expensive. It's really, really, really nice to be in Japan. And people that are criticizing it like this, if the Japanese people have every right to say we're Japanese and we want to preserve our culture, and the idea that Americans should be able to say no, you're bad for that, is the most ridiculous thing that I think that I've heard.
Yeah. It is interesting to see that just about anything in the culture now can inspire some type of weird political discourse.
But in America, because of the fact that we are an open society that welcomes people of all different, races and religions and creeds and stuff, you can be any kind of person, come to America and be an American. You can't do that in Japan. Yeah. You have to be a Japanese person to be Japanese. And there's nothing wrong with them wanting to preserve that.
Yeah, it always kind of weirded me out. Maybe that was just when I was younger. It was a certain amount of naivete where I always thought it was odd that people looked to further self-segregate their definition of who they were beyond an American. Now, I think that people on the left would say that that's because you were born white and straight in America, therefore, like, you don't understand the inherent privileges that come with that label, right? But I never even cared a great deal about, like, my dad's side was I have family that's Czech and Polish, and I never cared or thought much of it other than the fact that I was an American here in America, and that's my own choice. That was just how I saw the world. But I always thought it strange that people felt the need to divide themselves further into smaller categories. But the older I get, the more I realize that it seems to be the human condition, and that the time we had in America where that wasn't the norm was actually probably more of the odd man out as far as the way society looks at things.
Yeah, I mean, the United States, the structure of our government and what it takes to be an American is an anomaly in the world.
And that's why people push so hard to the idea of legal immigration, because if you came here legally, it meant that you were going to go through the process, the tests, and all of the things that required you to prove that you felt a certain way and wanted to be here and hopefully uphold our values, which is why you have the oath, right? Why you have to raise your hand, put it on the Bible. I don't think they do it necessarily in the Bible anymore, right? Or just the Bible. You can do it on different.
Cringe.
Yeah, but the point is that the idea was that you felt a certain way about the United States, which is why you worked so hard to get here. And that to me was a beautiful idea.
That you
now
shared.
People want to live here for what they can get out of it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be that you wanted to come to America, or it used to be that people would want to come to America because you were free to do things. Now people are trying to get to America because the United States has a very, very generous welfare system.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.